Hello, did you miss me? It's probably only like a second since I'm going to edit this video. But anyway, I moved you over here to my machine, and I hooped a sheet of tearaway stabilizer. I used the 1.8 ounce weight of stabilizer, and I always hoop it nice and tight so it sounds like a drum. We can make some music. Anyway, now after you've hooped your stabilizer, you're going to lay down your fabric of choice along the top. Oh, wait. A lot of you guys use placement stitches. At this point, if you need to use the placement stitch, put this on your machine, run the placement stitch onto your stabilizer, and then follow me. I don't use them for anything except for the pocket bugger bands. I have to use those for them. And then things with applique, of course, some of those I need to use them. But, okay, so for me, don't look, I'm a spray girl, and it's probably not even necessary, so just ignore me. I like to spray it a little bit on my hoop. It just makes me feel better, like my stuff's not gonna move, and because I don't have time for things that move. So anyway, tip though, I would not use spray on when you go to add the bottom layer, because then you're gonna have a heck of a time getting your dowel through. So anyway, okay. That piece was a little too big, so I had to cut a little bit off. So I have skipped the placement stitch, I've hooped my stabilizer, and I put down a piece of vinyl, so if I wouldn't have glued it, it would fall off. Oh, okay, shh. I do use tape a lot, okay? I do. I keep it right here, and I love it on a dispenser because then you only need one hand to use it. So I use tape a lot, especially on the bottom. Okay, so next. Okay, I always share this little tip that Judy over at Country Club Embroidery Blanks taught me. If you don't write on yours that this is your front side, for my 5x7 and 4x4 hoops, I always know that I keep my screw outward, so that way if I'm doing a two-step design where I'm going to pull my hoop out at some point, that I always know which way to put it back in, because I keep the screw facing me, and it has helped a million times, because there's nothing worse than going to do your last step and then you put your hoop in backwards and all the time you wasted is gone and your material's gone. Okay, so I've skipped the placement stitch, and the first step for the design is it's going to work on part of the target on this monster's head. So I'm going to go ahead and let this run, and I'll pause the camera so you don't have to sit and watch it. Let me just make sure I got my colors picked right. Number 2, number 6, and number 9. 6 is white. Okay, so I'm good. Because this is a multi-needle, I actually had to add a stop in before my final step, because I want to make sure my machine stops so I can add my back layer of fabric. Single needles, you don't have to worry about that, other than the fact that don't go in the design itself and change the last 2 colors to a single color and then merge it, because then those 2 will just run together. So definitely just leave those as is separated. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start this, and I don't know, I don't think you really want to sit and watch my machine go. I'll let you watch it for a second, because you're going to just get bored, and then I'll pause it, and I'll show you. Okay, it just finished stitching I'm going to take it out so you can see. It did the target, eyes, nose, the silly mouth. I have a little thread right there I really want to trim, but I'll do it when I'm done. And then it went down and it did that second to the last stitch. Now I chose bright green, so I want to make sure that I am using bright green for the last stitch. But before I do that, I'm going to turn my hoop over and I'm going to grab a piece of, in this case, blackboard fabric. I cut long strips from that bolt, which is actually working out pretty good. I don't normally do that. And it just makes things so much easier when things are pre-cut. So I cut them at, I think I did like 5 3/4 strips, but anyway, I digress. Let's see. Okay, so I have my hoop. I'm going to put my backing fabric on, and I'm doing it so the good side is facing me, bad side is facing the stabilizer, so that way when the target's done, it has two nice good sides. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use my tape for this, and I like to tape. Now, 99% of the time, I could actually probably just stick the fabric under my hoop, and there's not a problem at all. But I tell you, every once in a while, it'll get goofy, something will get like caught or stuck or whatever. So lately, I have just been going with the tape because I don't have time for goof offs. So I just slap some tape on it. It's not beautiful, it doesn't need to be. All it needs to do is be functional. Now, I could sit and guess, oh, how do I put my hoop back in? But we already know that I am going to put my screw side out. So I'm going to go ahead and put that back in, and I'm going to go ahead and let it finish the very final step of the design. And I'll pause it so you don't have to sit and stare at my machine again. Be right back. Hello, I'm back. Okay, it just finished the final outline. So now we have our little funky monster target, and I'm just going to pop this out. And then the next step is to cut it out. Some people sit and they tear their stabilizer out to try to get it as close as they can to the design, and that's perfectly fine if that's what you like to do. I've never found it necessary. I think my designs look just fine without being fussy about stabilizer that would only be seen if you're like looking in the side here. Okay, anyway, I also undercut, and I'll talk to you about that. And I apologize if you've seen some of my other videos where I've talked about some of these things before, but if you're new to Buggalena, I do like to share some of the tips and tricks that either I've learned, that other people have taught me, or I've just came up with on my own. And that's not to say something different works for you, and that's fine. In fact, I think that's pretty awesome, and that's what makes us all unique, you know, as we've been talking about in the autism. You know, we're all different. Nobody's the same, and people need to understand that all around the world. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I just bulk cut to cut the bulk of the vinyl off. I don't like to sit and hold the extra weight and try to maneuver, because as I cut, I like to hold my fabric in my left hand, and then I hold my scissors in my right hand. And I'm going to move you a little closer, and I'm going to aim you downward. And don't mind my messy room. Okay, so now you should be able to see that I hold fabric with my left and my scissors with my right. Oh, and I guess you'd do the opposite if you were left-handed. But, okay, I'm right-handed, so I'm going to do it this way. And as you can see, when I cut, I'm holding my scissors slightly outward at the top, and that's creating an undercut. So when on the back, you'll see just a hair of the front. And I do that, so then from the front, it always looks fantastic from the front. Let's see. Let me cut this out real quick. I turn my fabric with my left hand, and if you watch my scissors, you'll never see me go all the way down. I only use the back half of my scissors. This allows me more control, and it allows me to not get those start and stop marks that you sometimes get. So as you can see, it's looking gorgeous so far. Even with me, I'm pretty much a zombie today, and I am so hungry. We haven't even eaten any dinner yet, and it's getting late. But enough about me. I'm going to finish cutting this out. Now, I probably should have paused this because whenever I'm doing a video, I get like a little nervous and my cutting's not as good and I'm not as fast because I get a little nervous. And that's why I talk so fast too in the videos. I'm like, I'm a very self-conscious person, so this is huge for me to be able to do videos and be on YouTube and Facebook. This is really huge for me because I very much a very self-conscious person. Like I won't even like go to any of the functions where there's people from like high school or anything. I'm too embarrassed, and because I'm a big girl now, and I don't know, just never felt like I fit in life. But I am so happy to have all of you, and I consider you all my friends and family. It's amazing. I love doing Buggalena. I hope I can keep doing it and not have to go back to a regular job. I love being here for my kids. Since my husband works for the railroad, it's always hard. And that little string is still hanging there, so I'm gonna, or thread, not string. I like to use these curved ones for those. So that's perfect. And then on the back, usually my machine will leave the little tie-off knots, and I usually try to like pick those out a little bit and trim them just because I'm fussy about that. Okay, so here is our front, and it looks perfect, and our back, and there's our opening, and there's another one. And I know someone's gonna come back and say, well, what scissors did you use? And I do keep in the Facebook group a list of the scissors I use, but real quick, these are the small Kai, K-A-I, curved tip embroidery scissors, and then these are the Kai, I believe they're called 5-inch, and they have a serrated blade, which I love. I hope you can see this. Has a little bit of a serration there, and that, to me, it helps because it grips my vinyl. And then I really like these Fiskars razor edge scissors for doing my bulk cutting and when I'm cutting bigger pieces of fabric and stuff, and they feel solid, and I like them. So anyway, alright, so our monster guy is ready, but now we have to pick a piece of wood, and we need some sort of dowel, straw, whatever you want to use there, flagpole, who knows. Okay, let me grab one. I'll be right back. Okay, I just grabbed my little handy dandy. This is just a Dremel. Oh, I gotta move you. I forgot I turned you to talk to you. Okay, here we go. Bring you a little closer. Sorry about the little movement there. I'm gonna move my screen out of the way. Anyway, this is just a Dremel. And I bought this mount when I was at Menards, I think it was, one day, which is a hardware store here. I love this thing. It is so cool. I have a block of wood. I have a wooden dowel. Let me just make sure this one will fit. I just grabbed this one because it was already painted. And this is one of those bigger ones where it was, oh, yeah, it's sliding in just fine. So that is really cool to know that it works with that size and the thinner ones. I love when there is versatility in my designs because that just makes things so much better. Okay, anyway, I haven't charged this in like a week since I've been drilling away, so hopefully there's still enough power left in it. But I just turn it on and then slowly go down. Yeah, I really okay, that's my fault. I really should have charged that better. It usually just slides right down. Either that or my drill bit's getting dull, either one. But I usually just do that, and then I tap it out a little bit, and then I take high temp hot glue, and I put a little in there, and then push the dowel down into it. I didn't get a good hole there, so I think I'll switch over to, I'm going to switch it over to this one. This one is one of those thinner dowels, and then I used a piece of washi tape from my little washi tape stash. See, I got all these colors right here. Oh yeah, don't mind my generic pretzels that I was munching on before. I love those. Okay, let's get back over here. Okay, so since I didn't really get a good hole, hopefully this will still work. I'm just filling my hole with some of the high temp hot glue, and I'm going to turn that off because I always forget and leave it on. I'm so bad. I need like an extension cord or something that has an automatic time off, because there are certain things I accidentally leave on, and that's terrible. I have become my mother. My mother used to leave the oven on all the time, and now I do that. So, yeah. Okay, so I would just set that in my hole and give it a minute to set. It usually doesn't take long at all. There we go. And then that'll dry in a few minutes. It's one thing I love about high temp hot glue is it just seems so easy to work with. It's nice and hot. It does the job. There's a certain one I get from Walmart. I don't think I kept the wrapper. No, I didn't. It's just, I want to say it's AdTech. I have a picture somewhere if someone really needs to know. But I buy these, and I really like them. And that reminds me, my 11-year-old actually took my absolute favorite glue gun to school like 2 months ago for a school project. And I haven't seen that thing since. Little turkey. I'll have to try to get back from her. So, wow, we just made one. That was pretty easy, wasn't it? So now it is all done. Oh, and if you wanted to add the weight, just use some more high temp hot glue and add a weight, or put them all on a 2x4 and glue them to a 2x4, or put holes in the 2x4 and do that. You can even take some more washi tape and decorate this, personalize it, whatever you want to do. Let me tell you, if I can do this, you can do this. This is not hard. It is very easy. They're quick stitch designs. You can probably whip out a ton for craft fairs or parties. I hope you guys all share with me in the Facebook group like pictures of you guys having Nerf gun wars and stuff. I'm trying to think of how we can make these work in the pool, because we got our first pool last year. So what if I put them all along the edge of, because it's just an above ground pool, like put them on the ledge, and then we could shoot them with water, and then they go, I don't know. I was just trying to think of fun things to keep kids entertained. We're actually on spring break this week, so entertainment is key this week, and I've been working like crazy, and I feel bad, but at least we got out and did a few things. Went to the park a few times, and I took them to go-karting and play laser tag and stuff like that at a little indoor theme park with a little outdoor part too. So anyway, any questions? I can't think of anything else that I might have missed. And if I did, please go ahead and ask any questions you need to. I'm always happy to help. I know I don't see as much posts as everyone else, just because I am so busy in life that sometimes it takes tagging me a few times. But if you just create your own post in the Buggalena Facebook group, then it's more likely to be seen. Tag a few people if you need to. Anyway, I really hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you'll make some and share some pictures and fun stories of using them. I have ideas for so many more styles. I can't wait to make them. This is so fun, and it just makes me happy that I can do this for my kids. Because, yes, I'm a grandma. I've got an older daughter with 2 little kids, but then I have 2 young kids myself, so they're having a blast. My grandson's going to love them, too, so I'm excited. Okay, thank you so much for watching, if you bared with my long-winded video here. And have a great day, and we'll see you on Buggalena.